I'd like to introduce our final speaker, and that is Felipe Illanes. And he's going to talk about developing environmentally friendly packaging to meet trends and regulations. Felipe is Business and Product Development Manager for Tres Castillos. He is currently, he's the head of sales and technical support as well for Latin America at Tesera, a South Africa-based produce packaging company. Felipe is a post-harvest consultant and recyclability expert with a focus on produce packaging development, global trade, and logistics. So we're really looking forward to hearing your perspectives and what your companies have been doing to try to address the issues of recyclability and also the functionality of packaging for produce.
Okay, so I've been a packaging consultant for maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 years and with different technologies and in packaging and in the fresh produce industry. I was in the US for many years, maybe 12 years. Then I moved to Chile and I've been here for ever since. Okay. So packaging, I usually try to separate the word, and when I did packaging, I was kind of surprised. Pack is to put something inside or to protect and to not get damaged, as Beth said at the beginning. But then the second part is aging, so it means that everything is getting older. So I think for fresh produce, we should change it to pack, keep, or conserve, or stay fresh, because that's what we like to do with the packaging for fresh produce. Next. It's just a thought. So environmentally friendly packaging. I had a little bit of a trouble with that, because if we only focus on environmentally or in the environment on the packaging, probably number one will be no packaging. So we won't have any effect on the environment. So I'd like to talk about maybe sustainable packaging and where we looked at the environment, the economy, and the social aspect of it. And I'm going to go through a little bit of all three. So next. Environment. I think we all know that we have changed, and now we actually care. When I grew up, we didn't care so much about the environment, and we didn't care about where the trash went. We just threw it in the trash, and we never worried about it. Now it's a little bit different, but there's a big task that we have to do, us that are more involved in it. We need to educate. We need to educate, because otherwise we're going to go into trends that are not a very sustainable way. Manufacturing, I think it's very important to manufacture. We need to look at being efficient with the materials that we're using. I know that we talked about biomaterials and all those different lines that are developing, but we need to think of, and I'd like to talk about eco-design. What I mean about that is, like, what we do something different with what we have. So if we have something that like plastic bottles, it's a great example. They used to be big and strong, and now you can put them together very easy, and they're very thin and all that. That to me it's a very efficient way of looking at how eco-design can work. In logistics, I mean, we need to have the packaging that speaks with the logistics, but they're not isolated items, meaning we need to know that the packaging that we're going to be using, which way is going to go, so it helps the packaging to stay longer, meaning if we're using a CA container, what kind of packaging do we need? Or the other way around, if we are not going to use a CA container, what kind of a MAP bag we're going to use? They need to understand each other. That's my main thing on between the packaging and logistics. And the one that we need to educate is consumers. We need to educate the consumers so they don't follow the first trend. And it's impossible. I mean, I know that we are against plastic, and we see plastic as evil, but it's not. It's very helpful. It helps us to keep the produce very well, and maybe when at the long time it's not the best. And for that, I think we need technology. I think technology to educate people. We need a technology that speaks to the consumers, so that it tells the story of the produce that we're selling and also the packaging, so they understand better what is the need and what can be better for them or better for the produce. Next. Economy. We talked, I mean, they talked about how the prices of the materials are. So it needs to be affordable. And I've been involved in a lot of packaging that they come and they say, oh, I need something biodegradable. Okay, we can do something biodegradable. Here's the cost. Oh, no, thank you. Let's go with the regular one. So we need to be thinking on circular economy. I know it's very trendy now, and maybe it's one of those trends that we don't want to follow, but circular economy makes sense. I mean, how do we bring the plastic back to the system and or the packaging? It doesn't matter if it's plastic or wood or whatever it is. We can't just look at the direct cost. We need to look at further. We need to look at if it is a little bit more expensive, but it allows the produce to stay longer or last longer. We need to make the grower user to understand and involve the retailers and everybody else in the chain, obviously. And in that sense, we need to, from cradle to grave. I mean, that's how we need to look at the cost, because it's not just the cost for the farmer or the cost for the retailer or the cost for the consumer. It has to be all the way. And it has to be user friendly. It doesn't, what I mean about that is the packaging needs to be friendly to the farmer, to when it uses it. It can, if we ask him to put the fruit in a NASA capsule, and he's going to take a year to put it together, to put the fruit in it. But things like that, it needs to be friendly. And also, it needs to be friendly to the consumers. It needs to be attractive. We need to sell more produce. And no matter what we do, I mean, produce, it's sold by our vision, how we see it. If we see it nice and beautiful, yes, we'll buy it. If it doesn't look nice and beautiful, or if we can't see it, people won't buy it. And I think the most important thing is we need to make people responsible, or the consumer, the manufacturer. Somebody has to be responsible for the packaging, and it has been shown on the CRB, in California especially, when you go and you recycle a bottle of a glass bottle, you get money back. Why haven't we done that on all kinds of packaging? That's, unfortunately, we're humans and we move with a carrot in front of us, and maybe that is a carrot that will help us to recycle better. And there is technology that can help us on doing that. Next. And social. Okay, social. I had to put the social media because I think that's what is going to help us more than anything. So that I had to add the media part onto the social. But social, we need to look into the manufacturer. They need to be aware that whatever they do, they need to do it in a way that it is going to be known by everybody. We can't hide anything anymore. We know that. So manufacturers need to be aware that they'll know if something is wrong. Retailers also needs to have work and be able to work with transparency. And the retailers, they need to incentivize us to do the closed cycles. I mean, to get involved in this loops or something that it incentivize you to bring back the packaging that they bought so they can get recycled and everything. And the consumer, again, technology or social media. So they can they can benefit from it. Like if you are the one, the consumer, and you go and recycle your clamshell and you get 5 cents discount next to your next purchase, you're going to be more aware of what it's going to do to you, and you're going to go into this circular economy. I think that to me is part of the circular economy. Next. Okay. So that was briefing. I know they talked about all I said before, but now I'm going to talk about one first case study is Tres Castillos is a company based in Chile. They manufacture fresh produce liners, the liner bag that controls dehydration or other aspects of the food. They're based in Santiago, Chile, as I said, and this is a eco-design story. And they've been in the manufacturing business for maybe 25 years. It's a family-owned business, and they came out with the conviction of supplying locally to the industry here. They're present in different markets now in South America. They even have a little bit of a foot onto the US and Mexico. And they do about 150 million liners every year. And their motivation was they wanted to be the best option for the industry. They wanted to be up to date with innovation. They wanted to talk to the farmers. They want to be connected. And they had some reasons. I mean, the reasons were they wanted to be successful, and they knew that if they didn't innovate, that they're going to be left out either by being out of a business, either by the competition, meaning bags coming from China cheaper, or by regulations. Like we have a regulation here in Chile that banned the use of plastic bags in supermarkets. And who is to say that we'll ban plastic bags from everything? I think it's a mistake, but that's my thought. And today, what's the outcome? Today, they have different alternatives, and they've been growing the business. And one of the alternatives is the ones that I'm going to talk about. Next. Okay, so they talk about I have it here as a green PE, but I heard in the prior presentation is the bio PE. From all the alternatives that we look into it, because we were approached by the customers saying, "Oh, we need biodegradable, we need this, we did that," and we looked at everything, and biodegradable or compostable or anything was cost prohibitive. I mean, it was really like 3-4 times. We're talking about a liner that it's low cost. But the bio PE, I found it was the best option. It's acts, as he said in the earlier presentation, acts the same as a PE, so it can be recyclable and everything, and it doesn't disrupt the cycle, the end cycle, and it comes from the sugarcane. The only thing is, when we looked at it about 3 years ago, the price difference was very high. But today, with the regular PE being so high, the price difference is not so big. And then there is some additives that we looked into that it makes the PE biodegradable in up to 4 to 6 months in a regular environment, or even with that PE additive, it can be recycled as PE. So those are the things. And the other is, the biodegradables is, we found one that is 90% biodegradable in 45 days, but it needs to go into a different channel for composting or biodegrading. So I'm not sure where we are on that line of going into the cycle of the liners. On regulation, the two markets or two industry or two markets that are leading it's the European community and UK. They're definitely kind of leading the race. I don't know where is the race going, and I don't know which race are they winning. But for both, they see plastic as being very bad, and they wanted to eliminate it. Even though Europe emphasized a little bit more into recycling and reducing, and then later on eliminating plastic, there is some products that are going to keep on doing it, but that's the draft law that it's not a draft actually, it's in place now, that is gradually eliminating plastic. The UK, in the other hand, has a really odd law that it's you need to have 30% recycled material in your plastic packaging. If you don't have it, you'll get taxed. And this is really, really funny, because we hired a consultant to help us to understand that, and he puts us in a very simple example. Like if you have a potato chip bag that it's made of fully 100% polyethylene and it's recyclable, it will be taxed 30% tax law for waste because it doesn't have 30% of recycled material. But if you have a Frito-Lay can, those tubes that have, cardboard, aluminum, and plastic will not get taxed because it's not primarily plastic. But that thing cannot be recycled. It's even worse for the environment, but it will not get taxed. So that's how crazy it is. But so if we follow that path without thinking really what the probably cons that it has, like food waste, I think we're going to go into the wrong path because plastic is really protecting the food. I know, and it's nonsense to me to show you that, yes, we are overwrapping and we are over packaging a lot of products. And I've seen many pictures of like bananas being wrapped with plastic. Or all those. Yeah, I'm against that. I understand. But use it wisely. That's my take on it. Next. So what we did, we designed, we took like 3 steps on what to do with the plastic liners. We knew that we're in the plastic liner business at Tres Castillos, and we knew that we wanted to keep on being on that business. So the first and easy or simpler step was we invested in new machinery and new technology. And the thickness, we reduced the thickness by 2 microns. So the regular liners are about 12 to 13 microns. The liners that I'm talking about, that goes into grapes and blueberries and kiwis and all kinds of things, all ventilated. We reduced it to 10 microns without any mechanical compromise. So elasticity, everything was the same, and we tested by a third party. So that was the first first step. Check, everything good. Everybody liked it. Some customers are like, well, I needed the 12 microns because my spec sheet said that. But at the end, conversion, I'm good, successful. Second, we were looking for additives. Actually, we were looking for additives to help us absorb humidity. But we found an additive that it would use about 27% of the use of a high density polyethylene. So today, our bags, a line of our bags has this additive, which is an inorganic additive, and it doesn't compromise the recyclability. The only thing that it does, it makes the bag a little bit more opaque, but the liners that I'm talking about as being high density, they're already opaque, so it doesn't alter anything. It doesn't compromise that aspect, and it doesn't compromise any mechanical or recyclability. So, and also it was tested by third party on the 2 things, on the mechanical aspect and also on the reduction of packaging. And lately this year, we launched a product that has 30% recycled material. For us in Tres Castillos, to make a liner with 100% recycled material is very easy. We do it. We used to do it. We used to do like the trash bags, and trash bags sometimes is with 100% recycled material. Not a problem. Technology-wise, it's very easy to do it. But if you do it, you can't have any certification of food contact or traceability or anything like that. So you don't comply to any of the regulations that our products have. So for us to do it with recycled material, it's impossible due to regulations. We found a way to do it with 30% recycled material, which is post-industrial, and it's 100% recycled material from us. So we have 100% traceability, and we have food safety and all that. And we launched that this year, completely success, and we can only produce like 10% of our production can be with the 30% recycled material, and we're focused only on the UK for that. If we think about that, so it's 15 million liners, roughly, and this is a calculation I did very basic, and it's based on only the resin production. We eliminate 110 tons of CO2 equivalent. So I think that it's already a big win. I mean, it sounds big, 110 tons. So I don't know. I like it. So people like the number, so it's good. Next. Okay, so that's it with the letter. So the second case is another company that we are helping is Tesera. And Tesera is a South African company that they do SO2 pads. SO2 pads are widely used worldwide in table grapes, blueberries, and some other products too. It is made to extend the shelf life, liberating SO2 to control botrytis. They've been in business for over 30 years. They're in 22 countries, and they're based in South Africa. They're the world leader on SO2 pads. Their motivation has been always the same. They wanted to produce the best pads ever, and they wanted to do something for the environment. Because of customer needs and customer markets, obviously one of their big markets is South Africa, and South Africa supplies almost or very focused on Europe and the UK. They were starting to get some pressures from regulations and trends from the UK, and before they got real pressures, they decided to be proactive, and today they can offer the first fully recyclable SO2 pad. Next. The product it's called Uvasys Vivo. The product is the same technology with a major change of doing things differently. So all SO2 pads are multi-layer and multi material. And if you ever look at a SO2 pad, it might have like a recycled logo. We are very smart about being creative and giving. To me, it's false advertising in a way, because you have the recycling logo, but it's a number 7, which is others. So in order for you to recycle, you have to take it apart. And it's very complicated to do it because it's a multi-layer, and you needed to glue the active ingredient to the plastic and all that. But after a few years of research and development, they were able to do a multi-layer monoplastic material. It's all PP, and it doesn't compromise with the emission or anything like that. And then it's a fully recyclable. But they went even more ahead, and they created an alliance with a company in Netherlands, and they collect the pads and they manufacture other products with the PP of the pads. They do benches for park benches or things like that. And it was fully launched commercially last year in South Africa. And from all their sales, 50% of their customers converted to the recyclable material. We did a launch this year in Chile and in Peru, and it was trials because we like to do trials here in Chile where we think we're very technical. So anything new, even though it is the same technology, we want to trial and test it and all that. So we did the initial trials this year. Next. And so those are the two cases I have for you. One is in eco design, and the other one was impact. I think I'll leave this for a little bit of thoughts and ideas. The trends to me today is they're looking at plastic as evil. They want like more earth-friendly products, which paper is the winner, but they're trying to do a lot of things for paper to be able to act as plastic. And believe me, I've been requested to have compostable material, biodegradable, even organic packaging. I don't know how you do that, but but they've been asking before, like, oh, is it organic? I don't know. No, sorry, haven't found that. I think the legislation, which is Europe and the UK, is a little bit complicated. To be honest, we in order to understand, we needed to hire a consultant, and even with a consultant, it was not very clear. It is based only on plastic now. It's focusing only on plastic. With 30% tax law, doesn't make any sense to me. So I think we will need to have time. The US, I haven't seen anything really into the legislation. We know that we have had some retailers that they had come out with big campaigns and things like that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't go anywhere really, or I haven't seen anything that gone anywhere substantially. So my questions or thoughts are: is really paper better than plastic? Do we need to invest that much on making paper look more like plastic? If we eliminate plastic, do we increase food waste? And the compostable, biodegradable, to me, it's all good and great, but we need to be sure that the loop is closed. Like we have the compostable facilities, and we have, because if you don't compost, it's not going to be composted if you throw it in the trash or biodegradable. Some will, but not all of them. And if we are adding value to the packaging, meaning we're getting more, to me, it's very important. If we add more and more value to the packaging, meaning getting more expensive materials, and at the same time we're pushing the farmers to be cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, I don't think it's fair, or I don't think it's good for the farmer. We need to take care of the farmers and things like that. And to me, the big question is: where is technology? Where are why is it technology not helping us to create the CRV system? There is. I'm involved in a project that will help us, which is big data, but the industry takes a long time to react. I don't know. So next, and that's it. Thank you very much for the invitation. I wish I was in California with hot weather. Well, 40 degrees, maybe it's a little bit too much, but yeah. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Evan, for everything. It's an honor to be here.